So
Yeah,
thank you.
excellent. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Kemper-Zanck with Katalyst Campus, your mortgage and business school. And I've just been asked to teach some classes. I do this once a month. And it's been a pleasure. So today's event, today's class is really all about that balance. It's the title is being a workaholic, and I was proud of it. I am a workaholic and proud of it. But 15, 18 years later, I'm learning that there is a detriment to that mindset and that well-being. So what I would like today is I would like for you guys to kind of think about, for those of you that are you're full speed ahead. You're not retired. You're in it to win it, so to speak, and you're full speed ahead. What I'd like for you to do, you can put it in the chat, which would be fun for all of us to be able to see that. Um, or just do a shout out. How many hours is your best estimation of how many hours you work, like work, you're on your computer, you're on the phone, you're going to meetings, you're going to social events for your career? How many hours? And that can be even with you, Annette, like this is part of your world, right? You're doing this job as the president of NAPMW. That's included because that's really part of your whole career. How many hours do you guys spend really focused on all of that? And you could, again, you
Like
could put it in the chat or do a shout out.
like for work and then separate any
No,
PMW or just
no,
all?
it's all together. It's your
Oh,
career.
oh.
How many hours? In a week. Let's do in a week. Let's say average.
Ooh, that's hard. Every week's different.
I know,
It
just
is
average it.
hard because
Average it.
sometimes it's like 4 hours here and 15 minutes there, and then 8 hours there. And
Mhm.
then I've never stopped to actually write it down to see what it adds up to.
What do
Some
you
days
think? What
I'm
do you
thinking
think? What's your gut?
50, some weeks 60 hours,
Okay.
some weeks about 35 to 40, depending on what's going on, right? But I've never sat down to actually write down every single time I take the phone call or I sit down at my computer, right? And those kinds of things. Being self-employed.
How about you, Shay, Kelly?
Yeah, that is hard. Maybe I should start writing it down. Um, I don't know. If you add everything you do that goes into your business, I guess it's quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Kelly? Any input there?
Yeah, I'm actually in the car, so I'm going to try to stay muted. But
Ah,
I'm happy to say I'm retired. But when I was still working, at least 50 hours a week. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. How about you, Annette? What do you think?
I put 50
Okay.
in the
Okay.
chat like you told me to.
Good. Okay. How come I don't see it? Oh, I see. Mine was switched just to Kelly. I was only somehow I was clicked just on Kelly.
Oh,
Okay. There we go. There we go. Now I can see it. All right. Marilee, how about you?
I'm also retired. I think when I was working, I was probably putting 60 hours a week in, but now my main job is NAPMW, and I'd say probably between 10 and 15 a week.
Okay. And so then here's another flip side, you guys. How many hours do you take beyond working that you're thinking about it? Because I think you need to add that onto it. Like you're thinking about it. You wake up in the middle of the night, right before you go to bed, you're making your list for the next day. Or in the morning when you're having coffee, you're starting to make a list for the day. On the weekend, you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to email that person or call that person, or I need to call these people on Monday. So the reason why I'm really bringing this up, you guys, because I was that workaholic, and man, I was so proud of that. There's nobody that could work more than me during when I was in the trenches. I call it the trenches. When I was really feeling like, I'm going to make $1 million. Like my goal was by the end of my career was to have made 10 million. Like literally, that was my password on almost all of my accounts. 10 million buy blah blah blah. That was my mission. And so, that's what I was going for, was making a lot of money and having, uber financial success. And also creating kind of a name for myself. That was also important to me at one time. And so fast forward, I did that for a solid 14 years in the mortgage industry. And then along the way, the universe was sending me lots of messages to basically be like, maybe this isn't so great. Maybe this isn't so smart. So that's what I want to talk about today, is basically that balance, the balance between working and not working, the balance in taking care of yourself. How many of you guys in the chat or out loud, how many of you think that you put yourself before work? That you put your mental health, your physical health, your family, the well-being, your older you in 10 years, 15 years, are you putting yourself first?
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
I'm trying to be better about self-care myself
Mm-hmm.
and schedule it in, whether it's a workout or a massage, or even just sit and breathe for a few minutes, you know.
Yeah. I can't tell you how important it is. So well, I'm going to back it all the way up. My son is now 24 years old, and when he was 9, the teachers in the classroom gave assignments that they were supposed to do a report on their parents. And his father and I were not together at the time, so he got to do 2. And he gave the presentation, and we parents were invited to come and watch the presentations in small groups. And so he gave a presentation on his dad, and I always kind of had this like, oh gosh, he doesn't know how to work, and he's always, taking advantage of the system, and he's always calling in sick, and he's out playing all the time. This was my mindset then. And my son did a report on his dad was, yeah, we went and played basketball and snowmobiling, and we went cross country skiing, and then we went downhill skiing, and then we went and went on a hike, and then we played, we went and ran around the countryside, and we went and swam, and we did this and we did that. That was the report about with his dad. And I would always joke around that he was Disneyland dad, but I would kind of have it in a negative way. And then his report on me was, mom is on her computer, mom is on her phone, mom is in meetings, mom's at work. That was his 4th grade report.
Oh.
And to this day, I get choked up about it, because it's like, that's what he's remembered. And, for me to make myself feel better, I kept telling myself, well, I'm going to teach my son that working hard pays off. Right? Because, he had 2 examples, the Disneyland dad and then the workaholic. But really, which one's better in reality? Probably the Disneyland dad. Because that's what makes you happy. That's what makes you joyful. That's what makes you smile every day. That's what makes you laugh. That's what makes memories. That's what makes especially a kid's life a kid's life. But I think we all need a little bit more kid in our life. Fun and laughter and joyfulness. Like all of that. Right? You guys know that when people are on their deathbed, the last thing that they actually are proud of is their work. And So sorry, I'm talking about more about me, but it's just, that's how I come up with these topics is because I've lived it. So less than a year ago, I spent 4 months on the couch and in my bed because for 4 months I was very ill. And we never did figure out what the problem was, but here's my explanation. I think it was 14, 15 years of putting pedal to the metal and my body, I didn't know if I was going to pivot back into the mortgage industry. I had Katalyst Campus, the school, but I was working on getting that, ramped up. I had stress, and for all those years, I had chosen the life of stress, i.e., a lot of work, 50 hours, 60 hours, 70 hours of work, trying to get to the next level. And I do believe that my whole body just shut down. And I was non-functioning for 4 months. I think it catches up to you, you guys. And statistically, people who have high stress, okay, this is a question for all of you in the chat or out loud. On a scale of 1 to 10, on the average, what is your stress level every day? 1 is piece of cake, Disneyland world, like my life is awesome. 10, your life is stressed out way more than it should. Like you are up there, you are cranked up. Where's your number? Everybody put your number in. Let's show each other. Mine used to be at probably a 9 or 10 every day. Where is everybody? I'm looking at the chats. 8, 7s.
About a 9 for me.
So we have 7, 8, and 9s. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to give you, I have up here, I put up some statistics because I know I wouldn't remember them all. Okay. I gotta find the right one. Okay. Well, let's instead of statistics, we're gonna go with what high stress does. What high stress does, yes, indeed. Welcome, Carrie and Candace. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm so happy you're here. So happy you're here. We're talking about being a workaholic. And we're just now, everybody piped in with where their levels of stress are. We're at 7, 8, and 9s. And for me, I've always been like at a 9 and a 10 for the bulk of my career. I'm now pivoting. I would say I'm now at a 4. And it took a lot of hard work for me to rearrange the upstairs for me to pivot my world. So here's some things about when you have high stress for long periods of time, you guys. When we learn is when we pivot. So I want this class to be a learning moment for all of you, so you don't keep doing what I did for the bulk of the last 18 years, and even before that, when I was a school teacher. Talk about stress. So, mental and cognitive effects, you guys. When your cortisol, which is the stress, right? It's a chemical that gets put into your system. When it's high for long periods of time, you have mental and cognitive effects. Working memory and short-term recall. It can be permanent damage. I remember I went to a gentleman and he did test my cortisol and he's like, yep, that you're too high. He wanted to basically give me a pill. And at the time I didn't know anything about it. So, sure, okay, I'll take a supplement. But it wasn't fixing the problem. High cortisol, it affects your neurotransmitters like your serotonin and dopamine. It negatively affects those. Did you know your brain shrinks? Your brain can actually shrink with high levels of cortisol. It reduces the size of the hippocampus, which is that little, like, there's your brain, and it's the little, I don't know, walnut that's in there, that's within, it can shrink also. And that is the key to memory. And also, I was listening to something, reading something, I can't remember. High stress careers, firemen, policemen, doctors, airline pilots that fly, especially in different time zones, high percentage of Alzheimer's and dementia. My father was a doctor. His last 7 years, he had dementia. I kind of joked around after a while that I think he just wore his brain out. But I think it was the high stress. It was the lack of sleep, because he was the family doctor. We're in a small town, right? Family doctor, the ER doctor. He was the OB doctor. He was the surgeon. He was everything. So man, his sleep was just wrong. And that is the other thing that high stress does, you guys. It messes up with your sleeping. How many of you get 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night? Put in the chat how many hours of sleep you guys get. On the average. Just think average. How much sleep do you get? Annette, not bad. Crystal, that's not enough. They say 7 hours, absolute minimum. 8, Carrie, good job. 8 to 9, Shay, got to work on that. Kelly, a little touch and go. 7, you guys, is really even touch and go. Like 8 is really key, and 9. So, whoo, 8 and 9. Who said 8 and 9? I got to back it up. Nice. Okay, Carrie, you're the winner. Nice job. Nice job. Sleep, you guys, I just read a book on sleep. Amazing. Amazing. In fact, I should have brought it with me. It was shocking how important sleep is, because that ties into cortisol. I also learned, with high stress, you don't get as much sleep. When you don't get as much sleep, you guys, if anybody wants to lose a little weight, get better sleep. Because that right there, and even if you don't sleep, you guys, you should be going to bed within an hour, one way or the other. Otherwise, it just racks your whole system. And that's that cortisol. It's not going to help you at all. Sleep is crucial, and at 100%. Muscle wasting. High cortisol, it breaks down muscle tissue and it releases amino acids. Increases your blood sugar. Your glucose production goes haywire. All of this is tied to that high cortisol. Osteoporosis. It inhibits bone formation. That high cortisol coupled with sleep, those usually go hand in hand. Thin skin and easy bruising. So I'm laying out first, all the nasty stuff, you guys, about high cortisol. And high cortisol, you guys, is directly related to how you take care of yourself. It's not worth it. It's not worth working 50 and 60 and 70 hours a week. Long term, you guys, if you do it for a year, whatever, like we're all in those positions. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're trying to, really conquer something important, and you do need to work a bit more for 6 months, a year. But ongoing, you guys, it is going to catch up to you. It's kind of like revving an engine in a car. You put the pedal to the metal, something is going to blow up. It's gonna blow up. And I feel like I've lived that, so I want to help you. I don't want you to have something blow up and you're on your couch for 4 months and you go to the doctor and you get an MRI, you get a CT scan, you get every lab work that there is out there. You spend thousands of dollars and you still don't know what's wrong. And it's probably just because the stress is maybe catching up to you. A little bit. in the chat, you guys, I would like to know what you do every day to take care of yourself. What do you do? And if you do nothing, that's okay. You don't have to answer because you're doing nothing. But every day, what is it that you do for yourself? And if you don't have an answer, plan meals, eat well. Nice. That's good, good, good. Ooh, yoga. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I need to do more of that. Kelly, 5 days a week exercise. Huge. We're going to talk all about exercise here in a minute. That's good, Marie. That is awesome. Awesome. Okay. So you guys are doing something. That's good. That's good. You know, during all of those years that I worked a lot and I was all proud of myself for being a workaholic, I was working out. But I think because I also really wasn't taking, I was working out maybe not for the right reasons, even though I'm sure it helped. I needed to do way, way more than working out in retrospect. Because that, to me, that was just like a mandatory thing to do at the time. But I think I needed like numerous other things that I needed to do in my world to reduce the stress. Okay, immune suppression. Immune suppression. People who have high stress get sick almost twice as much. They don't fend off those colds. They don't fend off COVID. They don't fend off other, ailments. Because if your body is always on a scale of 1 to 10, if your body, the stress level is already always at an 8, like a lot of you put in there, you're at a 7, you're at an 8, you're at a 9. You have no wiggle room for anything, for even any little like slight problem in your life. You're now at a 12. Whether it be a medical something or whether it be some other stress in your life. You go for, if you're already an 8, it doesn't take you, you only have 2 more points to get to a 10. And you're like a disaster. People who meditate, people who are doing yoga, people who are doing mindful things, people who are taking care of themselves, like me now, I would still say I'm at a 4. I'll probably never be at a 1. But now, if something difficult happens in my life, and I've noticed this, and this is what I wish for you guys, to bring yourself down a notch or 2. Because right now, I have noticed before when my husband would come to me with whatever, and it was a stressful thing, I would be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But now I'm like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Cool. All right. We'll deal with it. We'll figure it out. Whatever. I'm even doing that with my clients now. I'm not as wound up if they don't move forward with the reverse mortgage because I also do reverse mortgages. I don't really get wound up about it. Where before I would be so anxious that if they're not moving forward with the reverse mortgage. And now I'm like, you don't want it? Cool. It's fine. Whatever. It's such a different way of living life. How many of you want to bring your stress down? Raise a hands or in the chat. How many of you would like to seriously bring it down a notch?
Unknown caller.
There's an unknown caller.
Sorry.
It's okay. Did you guys hear that? Hopefully they just want to come into the class, which is all great. Okay, a few more negatives, and then I promise I'll switch to a positive. So if you guys understand the medical disaster that you will have eventually, you're gonna do something today. You're gonna schedule more yoga, meditation, a massage, downtime. You're going to put your phone on silent. You're going to stop scrolling at night. You're going to do something. If you do one thing, I encourage you all, I challenge you all to pick one thing a month to add or subtract. Because you need to do both, I guarantee you. You need to add something and you need to subtract, i.e., say no. If you did one thing a month and have it become a new habit that it becomes a part of your life, it's not that hard. Don't make it hard. Don't make it hard to pivot. Don't make it hard to like get from a 7 or an 8, which is where I was, at least, down to a 4. Most days I'm finally at like a 4, maybe a 5. I will never let myself get up there again. No way. I finally have found like peace in my life. Okay, a few more other things that are negative that you guys need to know about. Increased inflammation. We all hear about that now, right? It's a thing. Definitely, you are going to start aching for no reason. Your joints, that's what happens. Your hips, your neck, your back, things are going to start breaking down for kind of no reason. And that inflammation is so detrimental with so many medical conduits where it can hit you. And it's kind of hard to like believe because it's like, oh, I'm fine today. I'm good. It will catch up. It will catch up. All right. Sleep disruptions. Okay, let's talk about that. How many of you wake up multiple times a night? How many times do you wake up? Like, estimate. For me, it's like 3 at least. Maybe, I don't know if I've slept through the night I think I did 1 time in like the last 10 years. Kelly wakes up one to 2 times. What else you guys got? How many times do you guys wake up? Okay, Annette, a couple times potentially, but maybe not at all. That's good.
Same. Sometimes I sleep through the night, but other times it's 1 or 2.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Early because I know I have things to do. Yeah, that launching out of bed. Did you guys know that actually you should give yourself at least a half an hour to really wake up before you make yourself like tackle the day? Your brain actually needs its own time to wake up. So if you get up and you go sit in front of the computer, not healthy for your brain. It needs to slowly wake up. It'd be like, taking a baby and be like, all right, let's go. Like they need a little time to kind of get going. Your brain does too. One way to help it wake up is drink at least 8 ounces of water. Drink a big glass of water. Right there. It helps the brain wake up. So if you need to kind of expedite that, that's a good way to do it. Drink a big glass of water. You should be doing that anyway. Big glass of water, but it does help wake up the brain. So the long-term consequences, you guys, of high cortisol, vascular disease, diabetes, depression, autoimmune disorders. It really does accumulate over time. Here's a couple studies, you guys. So a few statistics, and then we're going to head into the good stuff. Okay. We have about 20 minutes left. So some stats. This is pivoting into exercise. How many of you exercise? I know I saw some yoga, saw some fitness, saw some health, other things. Everybody exercise here? Energy elixir, that's good. That is good. Okay, let's just talk about exercise a bit more, you guys. So this is where the excuse comes in, at least for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's like, "Oh, I don't have time to exercise. Oh, just today, I don't need to exercise. It's fine. I really have so much to do." How many of you do that? I don't need to exercise today. I exercised yesterday. I have too much to do today. And you skip that workout. Oh, Carrie, yes, drink water, girl. Go get some fun. Go get a big mug or two, like different ones. I fill up 3 big ones in the morning. And they're just they're next to my sink. I do a bunch of ice. In fact, I usually fill them the night before. A bunch of ice and water. I just fill them up the night before. Might help you. Okay, exercise, you guys. Here's some statistics for you. If you exercise, on the days you exercise, you get an approximate 12% more done. 12% more done. So basically, you exercise for 45 minutes to an hour, then there's no excuse. You can't be saying, oh, I have too much to do. Well, you're going to get more done in the other 5-6 hours. It's going to make up for the time you exercise. So there's no reason not to exercise. You're going to get more done. And it reduces, like for companies, okay, this is kind of a company statistic, 28% reduction in sick leave. 28% for employees who exercise regularly. 26% reduction in health costs. You guys, that has to do with us. I used to kind of get free medical because of my dad. But then I got out to the real world. I've spent over $10,000 in the last 3 years out of pocket. And I can almost guarantee that everything except for maybe like 3,000 of that had to do with stress buildup over the last 18, 20 years, 25 years. It costs money to not take care of yourself when you have that high stress. Let's see. On the days that you do exercise, 72% people report that they improved their time management, which kind of makes sense that you're that much more productive. So instead of dinking around, instead of having your mind go all over the place, having way too many ADHD moments or ADD moments, you're more focused. You're able to manage your time. 79% reported improved mental and interpersonal performance. So you're just doing better. You're just all in all doing better. Almost 80% of people feel like they are doing better in their day when they exercise. And then 74% of those people also looked at their workday and they just said that they just kind of managed it all better. Things didn't ruffle their feathers as much. They had a better flow to their day. They were much more accepting of other people's opinions and thoughts and opportunities, more opened. The doors were opened a lot more for them. They're faster learners. People who exercise learn faster. They don't have the brain fog. Strength training. So let's talk about that. A lot of us women, especially, we're walking or we're maybe doing some yoga. which is good. There's a little bit of strength training there too, though. Strength training improves confidence, which also carries over into job performance. Short bouts for people, love it, Crystal. Yeah. So for people, you guys, if you're struggling even in a day to get some exercise, right? We're all kind of computer bound. If you can interrupt your day with even 10 minutes, you guys, 10 minutes has also even proven higher productivity. Higher productivity. Even if you can only do 10 minutes, you guys, go walk around your house. Go walk around your neighborhood. It takes me 18 minutes to walk my neighborhood if I just do one of the circles. You know, even just that, we can all fit that in. So let's talk about how we can combat really being a workaholic. One of the best things that I did was I strove to get a loan officer assistant, and I hired an assistant, just an assistant. I hired her 4 hours a week. I paid her $25 an hour. She took so much off my plate. I spent money to free up my life. But let's talk about other options. So this is what I want you to do. Here's your homework. Okay, get a piece of paper and a pencil. Write this down if you want to truly make a difference in your life. You need to set clear work-life boundaries. If you're working 50 hours a week, let's say, and you really want to get it down to 40, how are you going to do it? How? How are you going to get there? You need to define your start and stop times for each day. Then what are you going to do with the extra 10 hours? How are you going to manage that? Who's going to do the other 10 hours? Or do you really need to do them? Are you just, you know, dink that you just need to focus? Do you need to hire something out? Oh my gosh, $100 for this gal that I hired a week? Plus I hired a housekeeper. Freed up so much of my time. Like that right there. This is 4, 5, 6, that was like a full day just hiring those two people. And it was financially 100% worth it, because then I felt better. I felt like I had my act together. So consider, you know, just think outside the box. Think outside the box. Avoid checking emails and maybe taking work calls. Compile them. That's a huge distraction. I used to be in Rotary. We had a speaker that came in and she talked about women, especially, who are multitaskers. And I always thought I was really good at it. I learned that you actually get a massive amount done less when you multitask. And honestly, that's why some men, especially, are more successful. A lot of men don't multitask. And statistically, it's better. Way better. And I finally took that on because I saw 2 presentations on multitasking, and it's a huge detriment. You should always start with one task, move all the way through it, put everything else aside. You will get more done. You will have more success. You will feel like you've got your act put together. Many times, I still struggle with it, right? I still struggle with it. But you're going to save time right there. Start and stop one task. You won't burn cookies after this. I don't know about you guys, but man, I was burning stuff all the time. create that physical separation between your work and relaxation. How many of you work from home? Right. I think we all do, right? Annette, how not to Here, Annette, I challenge you this. I challenge you, even for just a week, don't multitask. Focus on one thing. When I finally realized, I made myself do it. I put little notes on my computer and on my phone on the clock, and I put the word focus. And what I realized, Annette, what I realized is that I kind of sucked at a lot of stuff. I wasn't recalling things. I didn't remember where I was in the process of something. I had to start and stop so many projects, and I had to pause then and remember, like, oh, where was I? It takes time. Every time you start and stop something, it is wasting time. You're wasting time. If you're multitasking, you're just pissing away hours and hours of your week. And in many times of your day. You could easily, if you're multitasking all the time, all day, you're probably throwing away a couple hours of your day every day. And you're probably feeling a little scrambled. When I finally made myself focus, because I always was proud of myself for multitasking. I'm like, oh yeah, I can have like 7 different loan files out and talk on the phone and answer texts and look at my email. I was a disaster in retrospect. I was. I was not a good loan officer during those years. Those were like my first 6 years. And then I realized when I start and stop a loan file, I don't remember where I was. I'm not really sure what all was in the file. Do I have the bank statements? Was one of the bank statements, was this the file that had the bank statement that I couldn't read page 5? Was that the file? I was constantly second guessing myself. When I put up my little reminders to focus, I became the bomb of a loan officer. And I knew every single thing that was in every single file. And for the first time in my life, I started to hold my head up high. I'm like, I'm pretty good at this. But the first 6 years, I was not. I was kind of a shit show. Oh, sorry, we're recording this. Believe that. But reality, like, that was me. And I totally pivoted because I stopped multitasking. And guess what? Part of what happened was I was working 50, 60 hours a week because I made myself fix a bunch of stuff, including that one. I went down to working 25 hours to 30 hours a week and I doubled my income. And for the first time, I had my head held high. So the multitasking thing, look at it as an illness. And honestly, it's like, to me now, I look back at myself then and I'm not proud of myself in that time period, but I am now. And I want you guys all to have that too. So if you're a multitasker, figure out how you can stop doing that. Okay, we just have a few more minutes. Rest and recover. How many of you have a vacation planned?
I already did. But it wasn't relaxing because I had grandkids with me. I mean, I love my grandkids, don't get me wrong, but I needed to recover.
That's not taking care
after
of
I
you,
got
though.
home.
I wouldn't call that a vacation.
No.
No, that's just a priority, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, who has a vacation coming up? Who has something planned at least? Good, Crystal.
Yeah, so I travel a lot for work. So my husband and I, when we travel, we try to take at least a day on either end to, get there, have some fun time. Sometimes we'll spend the night on the way there or on the way back. Because we have a Sprinter van, so we, can just stop along the way and see some beautiful places.
Oh. Are you able to turn your brain off?
Yeah, yeah, I do, just because I've done it for so long now. At first it was hard, like, what am I missing? What, you kind of get like jumpy.
Yeah. I love it. I see some people have plans. That's so good. It's so much easier, especially I encourage you all. I have a girlfriend who is the queen of vacations. Like, I always see her on vacations. And this is what she told me. She goes, while I'm on vacation, I plan my next vacation. And she does. She goes, I'm relaxed. I feel like I can. I feel the value. I see the value in vacationing and taking time off. And she literally does that. She plans the next one. She probably takes at least 2 to 3 really cool vacations a year. So I encourage you all to go ahead and if you don't have any plans, even if it's a short one, try and do at least something every quarter. You look at Europe. Europe has done a lot of studies. In fact, I had some, let's see, I had some that basically a lot of the statistics, because Europe and other countries, they take 6 weeks off a year. And they basically say they don't lose any production. They don't lose any income. They have fewer sick days. They have better mental health. I mean, the list goes on. Statistically, we all should probably be taking about the same amount of time off because you do fully recharge and you're not going to lose, your momentum. You get a few systems set in place. Reconnect with some non-work interests. I recently picked up gardening and pickleball, and it's making me do something else, and I really can tell the difference in my well-being because I'm doing a couple things I haven't done to take care of myself over the years. So make yourself a list and then pick up one at a time and see how that goes, see how that feels, but really commit to it. Seek support and accountability. Find a friend that you're going to go to the gym with. Find a friend that's going to go to yoga or we'll play pickleball with you or, get a gardening club. Whatever your hobbies might be, make yourself a list and then do it. It's so important. All right, a couple more. Let's see. A commitment. So lastly, I'm just going to finish with this, you guys. I'd like for you to think of one thing that you can do to add to your repertoire of taking care of yourself that you're going to do. At least right now, today. You can change it tomorrow, but what you're thinking at the top of your list that you're going to add this month, and one thing you're going to subtract that will both increase your joy, your level of happiness, and reduce your stress. Let's kind of have that be a commitment. So everybody take a couple minutes right now. Think about what you're going to add or improve, maybe something you're already doing, something you're going to take away, and both of those are going to reduce your stress. Just one notch. If you're at an 8, let's see what would it take for you to get to a 7? And then I'd like us all to share. If you're willing, you don't have to, but okay. Annette.
Okay. Daily exercise, I wrote it down. less social media, stop scrolling. Like I'm gonna do social media, but just like very strategic, right? Like have a plan, do what I need to do, and comment because I feel like the comments are important when people make a comment on your post that gives it more reach. So only do that, but don't do the scrolling. I'm finding myself scrolling and looking, and then 45 minutes went by or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a time sucker, and I know that. And then I'm just like, just stop.
Do you know you can set your phone on it'll shut you off? You can
Okay.
put you can go into your settings and you
Okay.
can set Facebook, for instance, at 30 minutes
Okay.
or 1 hour. You can set Instagram, you can set all of your social media as a timer, and it will then notify you. It'll be like you're out of time. And then it will say, do you want to ignore that today or go for 15 more minutes?
Okay.
Just might try
Thank
that.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, so you're going to take away social media, and you're going to add exercise every day. Woo woo. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next? Who would like to share? Shay, how about you?
Yeah, I'm a terrible doom scroller at nighttime and it keeps me up. I already have trouble sleeping, so it's just making it worse, I guess. So I really need to get that under control. And I do have the time thing on it. Doesn't work when you know your own password.
It is a challenge. That nighttime is definitely a challenge. And they do suggest that you don't do any screen time, not just cell phone, iPad, doesn't even mean television. A lot of people watch TV or a movie before they go to bed. You really shouldn't 2 hours, you guys, before you go to bed. You should be off your screens.
Yeah, I have tons of books. I need to start reading them.
Yeah, see if you can get yourself in that habit. I tell you, if I can get myself to do that, I sleep better. So,
Nice.
okay, so you're gonna take away that. What are you gonna add, Shay?
Um, what, well, I'm gonna add reading. I really need to do that.
Okay. Yeah, find some really good books. Take a little time, get some funny books. I used to only read business type books, but now I'm making myself read enjoyable books that are just kind of no-brainer things.
That makes sense.
Yeah, trying to pivot. All right, thanks for sharing, Shay. You got this, girl. Make it happen.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Carrie, what do you think? You willing to share?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, I think that I definitely need to drink more water. I don't like water. It doesn't have a flavor. So I usually drink flavored water. It's kind of a new thing I've done, which seems to do the trick. I'm always drinking something, but it's never water. But mostly I also want to read more. I read a lot, but recently I found myself watching more TV or busy stuff around the house, which can also add stress. Like doing too much around the house. There's always like a balance, right? Of sometimes you're using your stress as a outlet at home, and sometimes it's better to be at home and do nothing. So I don't do that enough. So those are the things I think in my personal time that I think would help me the most right now.
Maybe make a list when you're not stressed of just things that you can do that are enjoyable, um, instead of whatever the habit is. Whether it be, working on planning a vacation, working on, learning about some health. I get into looking up recipes and trying to figure out how to like adjust making something healthier in my refrigerator or in my pantry or make yourself a list now. So then when you automatically want to go to the television or you want to go and do something that's not beneficial to you, you can look at that list.
Right. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm good with lists. I like lists.
Awesome. Good, good, good. Well, good luck with that. I know you can do it. I always tell myself, like, do it for a week and see how it feels. Then it might stick. Crystal, how about you?
I wrote down some additional planning and note taking because I used to rely on my memory and that used to go really well. And, as I get older, it's less and less I'm able to do that. And so I don't even think I need to replace anything with it because I think it'll save me a lot more time not having to go back into emails, not having to go back in my text and figure out, what I was meaning if I just take notes the first time and, keep it in one spot.
I like that. So you're going to add that. What are you going to take away?
Well, that's where I think the takeaway is really going to come naturally with that because I'm not having to do all those extra things that would come with it,
Okay.
all those finding. So I'm going to take away the extra time of searching around and relying on my memory and, having to go through emails. So I think I'm going to find a lot of extra time in that.
Oh my gosh. All day. Yep. I like it. Make yourself a little list, like figure out how to track. I have that issue and I just finally my computer has like a notes thing or a task list. I'm starting to use that instead of, 52 sticky notes. I like it. Okay. Hey, Marie, what do you got?
So I wrote down, this is really silly. So I belong to Massage Envy. They're across the country. You guys have them wherever you guys live.
Yep.
And I've been a member for so long. And years ago, I didn't utilize my massages. They were charging me for it. They're taking the money out of my account. And I wasn't making the appointment to go in and actually get it done. There was a lot of things going on in my life in the last years that prevented me from really focusing on self-care. But the other day, I actually scheduled one for about like a month ago. I scheduled one. I went in. It was so great. I felt awesome afterwards. And then when I asked the guy at the counter, how many do I have stacked up? He said 20. I have 20, which is
Oh,
ridiculous. So I have to get better about scheduling.
yes. Yes.
I've paid for them.
Schedule before you leave. You just do it right then. That's what I used to do when I did Massage MV.
Well,
It's so important.
I did that and I had to call and reschedule that one. And so it was like, so it's
Well,
ridiculous. I paid for them. The money's out of my account. They've got the money and
Oh,
I just have to get better about putting it on the calendar. So that's one
yes.
thing. And then I do need to do more strength training as well. I do cardio. So I usually do like an hour on my bike every day, but I need to do more weights because I know after 40, like that's what you're supposed to focus on. So and
That
then
is
the other thing
stretching.
is, I have a gym membership. I just don't physically go there. It just opened up on my house and I joined it, but that'll get me out of my house. That'll get me off my bike, out of my house and change the scenery to work out. So
Here's a tip for you when it comes to work. When I was really consistent going to the gym, especially when I took this one class at noon. I looked around one time, I had 4 loans going because of the class. So
that's
you
awesome.
will pick up loans wherever you go. You don't pick up loans at home. You got to get out. And so that's also good for your mental health.
Yeah.
You'll pick up money there, guaranteed, but you got to open up your mouth when you're there. Not be in your own little pod with your music, like awesome. Okay, I like it. I like it. Get those massages. Suggestion for the massages, you just block out every Tuesday, 9 a.m. or whatever day. You can schedule around that. Like, if you had something like epically important, which you should, let's say, do you have kids?
I do. He's older. He's 20. He's going to be 23 next week. So
Okay, let's say that you had a breakfast meeting with your 23-year-old every single Tuesday. Would you cancel that all the time?
No,
No,
of course not. Yeah.
right? Make it as important as that because you are as important. And don't let anything get in the way. Clients don't care. If they say, can we meet Tuesday at 9 a.m.? And that's when your massage is, you're like, yeah, sorry, I have another appointment. How about 10:30? They don't care. People don't care. Anyway.
True. Very true.
Marilee. Oh my gosh, we're over time. Marilee,
Yeah.
what you got, girl?
I am going to get back in the routine of going out to lunch with my husband once a week. And we did that for 3 weeks, then we got sidetracked, so gonna get back into that routine. And yeah, that's probably my biggest thing. And the personal issue I've had with my stepson is going to be resolved soon. So that's going to be a less stressor for me.
Okay,
Not
good.
going to be involved as much.
Okay. So sometimes, you know, backing away from certain things, kind of saying no and cutting out
He's
things.
moving-
Well, you guys,
He's
this is,
moving out.
say again.
He's moving out. Yeah. It's been bad. Addiction is bad.
Oh, that's what it is too, on top of it.
Yeah.
Girl,
So,
hugs to you, big hugs.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you so much. You know, write down what you just told me, put it up somewhere, please. Feel free to email me, let me know how it's going. I love it. A little pivot, you guys, goes a long way. A little pivot.
Can I get a picture with those of you that are on smiling?
Yeah.
Okay. One more. Got it. Thank you. I always like to give everybody the chance to smile because otherwise you have open mouths. It always looks
Yeah.
weird.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
You
Thanks,
guys are awesome.
Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. You're
Thank
amazing.
you so much. That was great.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right, you guys, have a good one. Have an amazing
day.
week. Start
Okay.
your habits now.
That's right. I'll give you a call, Crystal.
Yep, sounds good. Talk
Okay.
to you then.
Okay, bye. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I turned off my camera, but it's not work. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. So found out that Jim's flight leaves at 6:15 in the morning, has a 4-hour layover in Denver. And he's really worried because usually if he has a layover, he goes right to the bar.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so he's worried about what he's going to do. So he left early this morning to go to the trailer. When he gets back, I'm going to tell him to call the airlines in person and see if he can get different flight, you know, so that it doesn't have such a long layover.
Why did
I
you
don't think
take that flight anyway?
I don't think he realized that it was that long a layover. And she's paying for it, so he didn't want it to cost her a lot of money
Oh,
either.
okay.
Yeah, she's paying for his whole flight, you know, and everything, just so that he'll drive her back.
Well, you should go for a walk around. Get some exercise.
Me?
No,
Oh,
him.
him. In an airport, yeah.
But
You know,
yeah,
he's,
that's tough if you're habit. But how much does
Yeah.
he really fly? Not a ton.
Not anymore, not
No.
as much as he used to.
Okay.
But, you know, even flying back and forth to Alaska, you know, I'm sure he probably has a direct flight for that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You can't worry about it, Marilee.
no.
Don't
But I know,
worry
but
about
that's going to
it.
be that's just going to be a suggestion for him
Yeah.
to, yeah. And
Or
Linda,
just encourage him. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. Linda,
You're not his therapist.
yeah, Linda sent me the message this morning that she talked to him a lot, and So she's going to be supporting him as well. And she's got an app so she can track where he is, you know,
Mm.
because he doesn't know this girl. He's only met her online. He just knows that she's a sister of one of his friends in Alaska.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's a flirt and she wants to start something with him romantically. And he so far has backed down and say, no, you know, we don't know each other. But
Mm.
I says, and she's going to come and live at your trailer.
Exactly.
Where
Sounds
is she
kind of
gonna sleep?
screwy, but
Yeah. But he also is very motivated to get to work next week. So that's a positive.
yeah, we'll see.
And he has a 2:40 appointment with the doctor today. See if he can be released to go back to work. So,
Good.
I mean, everything's looking good. You know,
All right, well, keep me posted on it. I know you will.
yeah.
All
And the fact
right.
that he set the boundaries for her that she can't drink in his trailer. You know,
Yeah,
we'll see how that works because it didn't work for him here.
right, exactly. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay,
All right, bye.
bye.